Yes, how do you do? This is my podcast and it's just for you. It's called Ted Talks and it's a load of shite, but I hope you enjoy it because I've kept it light. It's 30 minutes long and all about Teesside, the people, the places and the Boro pride.
Get in there! Way up the Boro! Oh, I'm proper chuffed, as you can tell by my fancy music in the background. Middlesbrough won! We beat Charlton Athletic, didn't we? Oh, I mean, I know they're crap and that, you know what I mean? And they're managed by that lad with the big ears, so used to cause loads of trouble in Leeds with Woodgate, but doesn't matter. We got to win, and I'm, for one, a proper chuffed about it. I really am. Oh, and even better, I'm on episode 25 of my podcast. That's like a quarter of a century of podcast episodes. I don't know if that's the correct measurement or not, but I'm going to use it anyway. So that's exciting me. Anyway, listener figures, I was going to say viewer figures there, but I'm getting ahead of myself there, and I'm not that famous just yet. But listener figures are rising. They're rising all the time. And that's making me get a proper bonk on, honestly, it really is. So thank you very much for sharing it about and inviting new listeners and all that to it, because it does help. It does help. One day I might make a few quid out of this, you never know. And when I do, I'll look after you all, I will. I don't know how, but I will. So I've got another cracking show for you today. As always, sponsored by Showcase Comedy, who put on comedy nights all over the North East and Yorkshire. Boro Fan TV, you'll provide fan content online for all you lovely Boro fans. And anyone else, you don't have to support the Boro to enjoy it, you know what I mean? And jokepit.com, the comedy box office, where you can buy all of your tickets to go and see massive comedians and sometimes the rubbish ones too. But it does it all. It's a one-place format. You can go and get all your tickets from. So have a look at it, jokepit.com, spot my mint. Anyway, on with the show. Right then, so in the podcast studio with me today, I've got a lovely lady by the name of Bex Turner, who is an alternative comedian from Brighton. Hello, Bex, are you all right?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. First question I like to ask all my guests on the TED Talks podcast is, what have you had for your tea tonight? Have you had anything nice?
Well, tonight, Ted, I was reserving my appetite until after the podcast, but I will be having a very chunky codfish cake with some chips and buttered carrots.
Whoa! I like the way you've parked your lunch for after the podcast, so the microphone doesn't pick up any unnecessary stomach rumbles. Good tactic there. I can't promise that because I've just had chicken teriyaki with rice, and it gives me wind. So just preparing you for that, there, Bex.
Did you have chips with it?
No, I just had, it was like a rice with a little bit of like aubergine cut into it and that. It was quite nice. And loads of like vegetables all within the stir fry of it. It was very nice.
That's very healthy. Are you okay?
Yeah, considering for the past few days I've been living on beans on toast and I had a pepperami for my dinner, I think it's a step up. Yeah, I really do. So, alternative comedy in Brighton. What's the alternative comedy scene like down in Brighton?
I say it really varies. At the moment, there's a real mix of stand-up and all the nights. There's general stand-up on all the nights, but there is a great deal of flexibility. So you can do a bit of weirdness and also a bit of just general stand-up. There's some good encouraging nights for the Brighton scene, which do like that, with like a mix of stuff. And that is one called Cabaret Lab, which is more kind of burlesque / cabaret. And it could be anything else in between, like spoken word and poetry and stuff like that.
It sounds very, very arty. I like that. What's the maddest thing you've seen on stage then on one of these nights?
One of the weirdest things I saw was at a night I was working at in a kind of theatre space where they had a burlesque show on, and one of the burlesque acts did a whole routine about periods. And so, like, she had nipple tassels, but they were like tampons covered in red glitter.
Oh, lovely.
That was like the oddest thing I've seen.
Did anyone get up and walk out, or did they enjoy the show?
I think everyone enjoyed the show. In all the general shows in Brighton, I haven't seen anyone walk out of anything, no?
I once went to an alternative comedy night up in the northeast, and I can't remember the act's name, but he came onto stage with 3 jars, and inside of these 3 jars, he had 3 daddy long legs, the flying insect with the long legs, and just randomly during his set, he'd have like a Henry Hoover on top of his head, right, and then he'd have the mouth bit cut out like that so you could see his teeth and his tongue and all that, and then every now and again he'd just pick a daddy long legs up and eat it.
Wow, the jars.
Yeah, on stage, like he'd just chew it down and eat it on stage like a real daddy long legs.
So was he like devouring the like spidery daddy long legs and stuff?
Yeah. And then on the third one, he left it in his lips, so its legs were like flapping around a bit outside, and then he just wolfed it down. I mean, it's safe to say not the entire audience got the performance, and a couple walked out, but it got my attention anyway. You know, it's a bit of an interesting one.
Were you hungry after watching it?
Well, not for insects, no. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Middlesbrough delicacy in it's called a chicken parmesan.
Oh, a chicken parma.
Yeah, chicken parm. Well, it's a chicken parmo in Middlesbrough. It might be different to what you're used to. It's basically an heart attack of calories that people eat after a night out. It's like chicken covered in bechamel sauce and cheese.
Okay, is it the one with like meat inside, like ham or bacon inside as well?
You can sometimes. They do one called a hot shot where they will put fiery jalapenos and pepperoni on it as well.
Oh wow, that's like a weird northern version of a calzone or something, like a meaty pizza.
Yeah, we don't live very long up there, I'll be honest. It's probably why.
What, diabetes?
Diabetes, heart. We've got a lot of pollution as well up there as well. So most of the listeners who listened to last week's show will be dead now. That's how it works. So welcome to the new listeners. Good old pollution, yeah. What's it like in Brighton for pollution? Is it a big pollution scene?
They like to have stuff very green, and so they discourage all the cars everywhere. So it's like really terrible to drive around Brighton, and they just have buses everywhere, and there's a lot of vegan places. I'm not a vegan myself, but there are a lot of vegan places, and it's what I've noticed is that, like, compared to London or anywhere else, Brighton seems to have a type of hipster where they're more hipster than like fashionable, kind of cool, slick hipster.
Right, I see what you mean, because in where I went to Leeds the other week, and it's full of like hipsters and vegans, and they all look pretty trendy with like the top knots and the beards and nose piercings and stuff like that. But I wasn't put off by them. I had a conversation with a few, and they were very lovely. But I won't eat the food. I won't eat the food.
That's understandable, yeah.
Just doesn't do it for me, you know what I mean? Like, just goes straight through.
Yeah, you want ham, egg and chips, don't you?
Yeah, ham, egg, chips, pizza, nice burger. I like a burger. Chicken tuna teriyaki, if I had one of them, I like that.
Cheeky little chef.
What, a little chef?
Yeah, cheeky little chef.
A cheeky little chef?
Yeah.
Let's try one of them. Right, well, listen, I've got a little birdie told me that you do some very good impressions. Is that true, Bex?
I do. I try my very best to do them, yeah.
Right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. What we'll do is we'll do accents, because you're good at accents, aren't you? And
I love accents. I love them.
I'm shite at them, me, like, so
no.
I think, but I'm going to give it a go.
Accent.
I'm going to give it a go for the purpose of the game. So what we'll do is I'll challenge you to do an accent, then you challenge me to do an accent, and we'll just do that a couple of times and see who's like the best in that.
Okay,
So I'll challenge you to see if you can do Liverpool accent. Is that a tough one?
It's tough to get into the frame of that one, isn't it? Liverpool.
Do you need to go and put a shell suit on or something?
No. What should I say?
Why don't you say, all right, mate, what have you had for your tea tonight?
All right, mate. What have you had for your tea?
That's pretty good. That's good.
I should have practiced them beforehand.
Don't worry, it's all fun. Wait till you do your man, the crap. Right, you choose one for me now, and I'll do the same. I'll do the same sentence.
Okay. As from what I can remember, I know that the Welsh accent can be quite tricky. Welsh.
Oh, the Welsh one. All right, mate, what have you had for your tea?
Nice, that's really good.
That would sound all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'll bounce over to you. Yorkshire.
Okay, what sentence?
You can say, how do, pet? What have you had for your tea?
How do, pet? What have you had for your tea?
Good, yeah, they do that, don't they?
I'll do what have you had for your tea.
I've noticed when like Yorkshire people are together and they'll say us, they'll go like, what time's us dinners? They'll say stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
Right, okay, give me one more then. Give me one more.
That accent that they used to have in those early American films, I can't remember what it's called. Is it like cross-Atlantic accent?
A cross-Atlantic accent? What, like Lloyd Grossman?
A bit earlier, like in those early films, like the 30s films, where the American actors spoke very proper.
All right, yeah, like in a film noir.
Kind of film noir, but maybe a little bit earlier, like in the very early talkies, where they had that certain kind of way of speaking that they were taught.
What, why they talk like that? See?
That sounds good. Yeah.
That's as good as I'm getting, Bex. That's as good as I'm getting. Well, I wasn't expecting cross-Atlantic. I thought you were going to say like Northern Irish or something like that. I was preparing for that one.
Okay, yeah. What's your Irish accent like then?
I can do the old.
We'll do it. Let's hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're less than me. You're not part of that community.
Nice. That's good.
That's all right, wasn't it? Not bad, that. Not bad. It's probably the only one I can do to a certain effect. Well, I tell you what, we'll move on from accents, and you can tell me about some of the wonderful impressions that you do, and maybe share a few, because I heard you do one of that crazy girl off Flight of the Conchords, and I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
So, if you want to take a moment to compose yourself, what's her name again? Is it Kirsten? What's her name?
It's Kristen.
Kristen, that's it, Kristen. Yeah, I like her. She's in some films as well, isn't she?
I think so, yeah.
I like her. She's a bit odd. I like that.
She's definitely very funky. She's got a weird sensibility to her. Yes.
Yeah, I like her. I like her mad hair as well. Yeah. Right. Do say anything in the style of Kristen.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
It's surprisingly similar how I sound like Kristen Shaw from like Bob's Burgers with like a blade like Louise.
I like it. Brilliant. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. What else can you do?
I can do Sue Pollard from Heidi High auditioning for The Godfather.
Oh, I'm interested. Yeah, let's.
Please Mr. Godfather, I want to be part of your drug cartel. I want to be a yellow coat. I want to make you an offer you can't refuse. Please, Mr. Godfather.
There you go.
That's. I'm going to give you a round of applause there for that one. Very good.
Oh, thank you.
I can do Al Pacino.
Oh, okay, awesome. Do it. Yeah.
I'll try my best. Hang on. Al Pacino in Carlito's Way. Fuck Benny Blanco. Stephanie's with Dave now.
That's an interesting take on it. It's very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you got? Huh? What have you got?
That's nice.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. You know, it doesn't get me any paid voice work or anything like that. But, you know, I'll keep pushing it. Speaking of which, I am offering out advertising space for people to do adverts on my podcast as well. And I'm doing a few myself, you know. So Stuart Honeyman got in touch and said, can you put a shout out for the Stockton West End under-9s football team? They need a sponsor. So if anyone wants to sponsor them, get in touch with Stuart Honeyman or drop me a message and I'll put you in touch with them. You've got to sponsor grassroots football, haven't you? I mean, come on. And another thing what I'm doing as well is I'm letting businesses produce adverts as well. And here's one for a Billingham company called Sign Perfect. We are Sign Perfect from Billingham. Vehicle sign writing and shop signage to your specifications. Logos, words, logos and words, windscreen graphics such as Barry and Brenda. We at Sign Perfect have all your sign making needs covered. Maybe you're an up-and-coming band or one of them pop acts who wants your van advertising your band name on. Come and see Sign Perfect. Maybe someone has drawn a big knob on your van and you need it covering up, or even enhancing with a detailed set of knackers. Well, Sign Perfect, mate. Perhaps you're a criminal who nicks vehicles and you want to get them painted over so no one can catch you. Well, I'm only kidding. We definitely don't do that last one here at Sign Perfect in Billingham. So, look us up. We're in Billock, you know what I mean? Or just look us up on Facebook. Ask for Colin. He'll sort all your sign needs out. Sign Perfect. We have all your sign making needs covered.
Can I have a weird question. You know on the reality TV shows, and that when they're interviewing like maybe a Northern or Midlands family, and in the background of the living room, there's like a specific type of wallpaper that's like kind of floral.
Yeah.
But is it a thing up north? Because like I see a lot of like reality TV shows, and they always seem to have that kind of same wallpaper. If you know what I mean.
And are you thinking like we all live like the royal family, like Jim Royal?
No, not that type of wallpaper. There's like a specific type that's like a big kind of leaf.
Oh, you mean like floral type of feature wallpaper?
Kind of. Do you know what I mean? Sort of.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Well,
I mean,
it's not super detailed. It's just a blank colour, and then there's like a kind of motif on it. But it seems to be in every like family you see on like reality TV or something.
Maybe it's a prerequisite to get on the TV then, that you need that. I can't say I've noticed it. My friends and family all have normally very, very plain beige walls, but hang a lot of pictures on them. I put a lot of posters up in my bedroom. My favourite footballers and Jet from Gladiators, stuff like that.
Okay, which one's Jet?
She was like the really fit one who used to do all the leg kicks and stuff like that. She was...
90s Gladiators?
Yeah, 90s Gladiators. Jet. Yeah.
Well, she's pretty cute, isn't she, Jet?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's about 52 now, but she's from Billingham in Stockton, which is like near us, and she used to go in a gym I used to go into when she was in her prime, and I was a 17-year-old adolescent.
Did he go? You must have had a field day just watching Jet from Gladiators.
I didn't lift many weights, put it that way. It became more of a spectator sport.
I mean, he probably lifted something.
Well, yeah. I'll wait till I got home for that, though, Bex. Let's, we can get in trouble for that type of thing.
Okay.
The special gyms you can go and do that in, though, apparently. I think they're called saunas.
Oh, there's a lot of them in Brighton.
I bet there is. There's a bit of a scene in Brighton, isn't there?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's nice, yeah. They've got food shops, yeah.
So, I hate to spring this on you, but this is primarily meant to be a football podcast. Are you a football fan?
For the purpose of sponsorship,
yes,
I am.
And who do you support? Just say Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough. She supports the Boro, man. It's getting there. That's what we're after. Up the Boro. That's what we say. Yeah, you were nearly there with it when you said up the Boro. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, good. Right. Well, we've ticked that box now for the football bit. So, comedy-wise, I think we were chatting earlier before we came on the podcast about you possibly taking a show up to Edinburgh next year. Is that right?
I'd very much like to. Yes.
Have you ever done it before?
No, not in Edinburgh. No.
I mean, I've been up there and I've performed on like showcase nights and stuff like that, but I've never sort of took my own show up there. Although I am meant to be going up there with the Halls of Ridiculous next year, so we'll see what happens with that. What's your show going to be about then? What's the underlying current about it?
Well, it's hopefully, or I hope to have it as a kind of part stand-up and part character comedy show. And it's kind of just all about fitting in, trying to be less awkward, and trying to avoid all the boring tropes you might see in a comedy fringe show, such as a moral message 3/4 of the way through, or just a white male telling DICK jokes. It hopes to just be a full-on, like lots of high energy, dark wordplay, weird puns, and odd observations with 3 pop cultural characters.
Oh, this sounds brilliant. Sounds really good. You're right, though. There's a lot of the same shit, isn't there? Put it bluntly. Like you've either got blokes talking about the peckers, or you've got girls talking about their bits and stuff that goes on with them bits as well. I like it when someone steps out of the norm and does something a bit different.
It's always fun to see. Are you bringing something up to? Are you bringing your podcasts up to Edinburgh?
I might do, because I did a live studio recording of my podcast in Middlesbrough a couple of episodes ago, and it was really well received. Yeah, quite a few people, quite a few fans turned up, which I'm not used to.
Did Jet turn up?
Did Jet? No, she didn't. No. I sent her an invite, but she just told me to fuck off, to be honest. So, typical Jet. That's what she'd like, fame's got to her. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Yeah, it was interesting. I have a couple of people on who appear on my podcast. Is like there's me Mrs. Julie, well, my ex-missus, my brother-in-law Mala, and Sir David Attenborough, and they all turned up and appeared at the podcast the live podcast as well. And we did a bit of work on stage.
That must have taken a lot of persuasion to get your ex-wife coming.
Well, at the time we were sort of on and off, you know what I mean? Like she used to just come round and get close to me so she could watch Strictly on my big telly. So and then she'd go after that. So just using me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But we're still good, mate. She's I say it all the time now. She's all right.
Oh.
She's a bit
Does
of a
she listen
dickhead.
to the podcast?
No, she's her exact words were, "I'm not listening to that shit, Ted. Why don't you get a proper job?" So yeah, she's lovely. She's lovely, my Jolie. Yeah. I'm happy on my own with my dog Branko. I don't mind. Branko, yeah, he's lovely. He's 14.
Oh, he's a good boy then, yeah.
Yeah. I've got to go and check on him shortly because he might have died. He's,
is he really old? Because I had a relative who had a dog who was like really, really old and part of his tail was coming off. But he just...
What, like his tail was falling off?
Yeah,
through age?
it was like scraggly, like... And it just wouldn't go. Just
fell apart. But I've just found one of the dog's ears in the garden. Oh, yeah, he's on his way out. Oh, look, there's his foot. Just left with a tongue.
The tongue and the tulips.
Tongue and the tulips. At least he's drifting away magically in the tulips. So, have you got any gigs coming up, Bex, or anything you wanna promote?
I run a regular monthly alternative comedy night in Brighton called Clog Comedy, and that basically means comedians laughter log. And I kind of encourage like acts to apply, like maybe stand up or improv or character, to just come along and apply and perform. Yes.
That sounds lovely. Sounds great. There's a great a great alternative comedy night in Leeds called Acid.
Oh yeah, I did that in Edinburgh.
All right,
I heard about it from someone, but have you done Acid?
No, well, maybe in my youth I might have dropped a bit, but no, this is the alternative comedy. It's downstairs. That's what it stands for, doesn't it? I know the two guys who run it in Leeds. Put some great nights. Will you do me one more favour with your voices? Yeah. In your Kristen voice, will you record for me now and say you're listening to the Ted Hanky podcast? It's like so amazing, or something like that, in her voice, and then I might use that as little clips every now and again.
You're listening to the Ted Hanky podcast, and it's like so amazing.
Yes, it was like she was here.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
I love it. It's a great impression, that, and it's one of my favourite shows, like the Concorde. So,
thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, Ted.
The Ted Hanky Podcast. By all means, tell everyone about it, or just don't. You have a choice either or there.
Okay.
But thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say just before you leave? Maybe a final impression?
I can do an impression of Gollum.
Well, go on then. Yeah, that'll be good.
I'm up for it.
Oh, God, yeah, that is good. I think I'm a bit scared now.
Like my stand-up, I scared people so much.
I'll let you go and have a drink of water anyway after that. No, but thank you very much for being on the Ted Hanky Podcast, Bex Turner.
Thank you.
Bex Turner there, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful alternative comedian from Brighton. Check her out on Facebook, and she's got a page called Bex Turner.
I also have my Twitter, if you want to say hello, and that's at Bex Turner Comedy.
There we go. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted.
You're welcome. I've got a very special guest joining me in the studio. Oh, you can just about hear him arriving now. Oh, that's right. It's only Father Christmas. Oh, hello, Father Christmas. You all right, mate?
All right, Ted. Yeah, I'm not bad, son. I'm not bad.
Well, really good to see you. I know you're a busy man and that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm right busy at the minute. You know, I'm all over the shop. I'm everywhere at the minute, dropping presents off. Well, picking up presents ready to drop off for all them little bastards, you know.
To be honest, Santa, can I call you Santa? Yeah, I thought you'd be a little bit more, bit more festive. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you, Ted, right? I fucking hate Christmas. I hate it. I do. I really hate it. But I can't get another job, can I? Look at me. Look at who's going to employ me. I've got to keep the beard. I shaved the beard off. There's a risk if I don't get a job, will I grow it back in time for me Christmas job? It's a risk. You know what I mean? I'm over 800 years old. It's things. I don't even have a national insurance number, Ted.
I can imagine it's tough for you, Santa. It really is. What's like the weirdest sort of like request you've had for presents?
You're going to love this, Teddy lad, listen. All them mucky mums in Middlesbrough, they're asking for it all. Rampant rabbits, love eggs. Some of them even ask for, like hitmen to take out their husbands and stuff like that. Normally the ones who are working offshore, you know, the flash twats with the Breitling watches and all that type of stuff. I get some right requests, I do, Ted. I really do. I mean, sometimes they send me some pictures as well to, you know, try and sway me in the direction of giving them the best presents and that, you know, some of the mums flashing bits and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Oh, have you got any on you now?
I'll show you some after this.
Oh, that's great. Listen, I know Christmas is meant to be a time for giving, but I'm all for receiving as well at this time of year. I don't know what your thoughts are.
What do you mean receiving?
Like presents, you know, like gifts and stuff like that, and lady love.
Ah, right, I got you. Yeah. No, I'm exactly the same. Mrs. Claus, you know, she only really gets frisky with me once a year, and thankfully it's after a good hard Christmas shift. I can go home, I can have a pot noodle, and then me and Mrs. Claus can have a roll around. It's great fun. It is great fun. It really is. Anyway, Ted, I've got to go. I'm busy. I've dropped you off that vintage packet of John Player special cigarettes, so look after them. You can't buy them in the shops anywhere.
Oh, gee, they're not for me. I take them down the club and sell them to all the old blokes. Did you get the Woodbines as well?
Oh yeah, Woodbines. They got them as well, from Golden Virginia, and a couple of dodgy fire sticks as well.
Yep, that's what I wanted. Cheers. Right, thank you very much, Father Christmas. Would you like to say goodbye to the listeners?
Yeah, go on then. All right, here we go.
Ho, 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 goodbye, little boys and girls.
Oh, I fucking hate doing that voice. Have a good Christmas, manners, you know what I mean? See you later.
Father Christmas there? Oh, I wasn't expecting that. What a lovely surprise. Right, it's time for the final part of the show called Ask Ted, and this is where all my followers on social media, well, not all of them, just some of them, they can ask me anything, and I answer the best questions on this podcast, and I don't look at them until this very moment, so you know my answer is truth and from the heart, and that's it basically. So, let's get cracking. First question comes from Brian Sigsworth. Do you go to Specsavers for your gigs? They look mint 1970s. You know, I don't, Brian. These were my dad's glasses because I've got my dad's eyes. So I thought, why not have the same glasses as him as well? And they're pretty good because when I'm playing snooker, I get a full range view. They don't drop, even if they do drop down my nose, I've still got that angled view as well. And they just make me look beautiful as well. So they really enhance my face and bring out my cheekbones. So lots of lasses have told me anyway. So that's why I wear these glasses. Brian, you're not bad. Duncan Phillips, top fan as well. All right, Ted, our lass took the TV remote off me on Sunday night and put Robbie Williams on. Halfway through, he got a big lass up to sing, you know, so she was grabbing his ass and going for his knob, and he asked her the name and she replied, Julie. Just wondering if you know where your Julie was on Sunday night. Do you know what, Duncan? She's a big fan of that Robbie Williams, like, so she could have been there. She said she was going out with that Puffy Derrick. I don't know where. They go to take that concerts and stuff all the time. So I'm going to have to go and have a look at this on catch up because she's a mucky cow for that Robbie Williams. I'm telling you, she probably was there. She didn't come home that night either. So, but you know, we're not together, so balls to her. Next question, Wilf Smith. Who would win in a fight, Harry Potter or Gandalf? Bit of a geek question, this, Wilf, isn't it? You know what I mean? What makes you think I'm a type of Harry Potter fan? Just because I wear glasses and I've got the same haircut? I mean, it's you know, I'm assuming, I've not read the books or anything like that, but Harry Potter's the main character, but Gandalf, I believe, is the old wise wizard one from Lord of the Rings. So I think if it's a fight without magic, Potter will kick his head in. But if it's with magic, I think the naivety of Potter will show through, and Gandalf will put like loads of magic spells on him and turn him into a dog. Oh no, he's a dog already. Turn him into a frog. There we go. Next question, Michael MacDonald. Is that beard made from fuzzy felt? All right, because the picture I put on for the Ask Ted, I've got a nice big beard. It's a good question, that Michael. It does feel a little bit velcro-y, and I do get cornflakes stuck in it. Branko likes it though, because when we have a snuggle on the bed, he cuddles right into it and licks the little grey bits on it as well, which is quite nice, quite therapeutic. But no, it's not made from fuzzy felt. It's made from real man hair. Johnny Ludley, how much oil could a gum boil? I don't have a fucking clue what that question means. I mean, as far as I'm aware, a gum boil is like a pus-filled, swollen bump on the gums. You know, the form from bacteria build-up and cause infection. It can be painful or tender. So they're very similar to abscesses, and they're a sign of a bacterial infection. And they're very common. People with gum disease, or people who've just had dental surgery, or people who lick dogs' asses. But I've never had one, because as you know, I've got a really good dentist and I've got perfect teeth. So I wouldn't know. I would recommend that if you ever get one, pop it and just boil it. See what happens, mate. You know what I mean? But interesting question there, Johnny Ludley. Tony Seaman. Ted, have you been eating a bear's arse out and had glue stuck to your face? He's on about me beard as well, isn't he? Tony, you're just envious that I've got a lovely, like badger style beard. All of the lasses love it down the club, so I'm not bothered what you think. Get lost. Speaking of ball bags, David Smith from Hull. It's a good question, this though. Let's have a look. Ted, I grew up in the 90s where sexual content was really difficult to get hold of. Viruses on Napster, dial-up internet, and fuzzy pictures on Channel 5. What's the weirdest thing you've had to use or watch for sexual pleasure? Mine was on the PlayStation game WWE SmackDown vs Raw, and it was to Stephanie McMahon's intro video. I had to watch it twice. Are we still friends? Too many questions in there, David. Too many questions in there. Well, I suppose I want once had a wank in a pickled onion packet of Monster Munch because I didn't have any tissues. It was a weird one. It wasn't quite sexually enthralling, but I was eating Monster Munch at the same time, so it was. I suppose it was slightly arousing. I used to quite fancy She-Ra as well when I was a kid, so I think I might have got my first bonk on over She-Ra. It was either She-Ra or Penny out of Inspector Gadget. I can't quite remember, which was all right because I was a child. So before you start saying, "Oh, she's just a child," I was a child. She's a cartoon anyway. What are we having this conversation for? But yes, David, we are still friends, even though you do look like a windswept ball bag. Okay, next question here. It's from, just having a look now, it's from Sad Wilson. Ted, what do Japanese men call their eye on the end of their penis? I can't, mate, come on. You see, you're edging me towards doing some sort of racist content on my podcast. It doesn't work like that. They probably just call it the bell end eye like everyone else does. So I don't know what you're referring to, but would you call yours, you fucking idiot. Oh, God, these questions are getting worse every week. They really are. Oh, finally went on to the last one. John McIntyre. Now then, Ted, how are you keeping? I'm all right, John. Thanks for asking me. Is that the quick? No, that's a bit more here, a bit more goes on. Now, I know you're a mind of information and you very possibly were a child genius. He knows me well, So hopefully you can give me some much-needed advice. I've got a mole on my bell end. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've got a mole on my bell end and it's starting to feel uncomfortable. I don't know whether to just persevere and put up with it or hit the little bastard on the head with a shovel. Any thought? He's trying to make like a joke there that he's got like a mole creature on the end of his cock, and and we were assuming that it's like a mole freckly type thing. You're just admitting there, mate, that you're having sex with moles, and it's going out worldwide, this podcast, and I'm sure the RSPCA will be after you very soon about that, John. You mucky. I mean, they've got massive big claws as well. What if it scratches your sack? Oh, have you not thought about that? Bloody hell, mate. Right, so that comes to the end of episode 25. A little bit shorter than normal this week. I'll be honest with you, I've not prepared very well this week, you know what I mean? I'm like running around last minute trying to sort out some stuff, you know. It's fucking hard doing a weekly podcast. You should try it, you know what I mean? So don't judge me on this episode if it's the first one you listened. I do have really good episodes. This is a good one, but I do have really good episodes as well where I put real time and effort into creating stuff on my podcast. But it's getting close to Christmas, man. I've been doing Christmas shop. I've had the shits twice. That's put me off a lot as well. So it's been tough. It's been a tough week, but it is the penultimate podcast of 2019. Next week is going to be the final one of 2019. Then I'm going to have Christmas and New Year off, because normally they come out on a Wednesday, the podcast, and Christmas Day and New Year's Day, I think, is a Wednesday, if I'm right in thinking. Let me just check on my calendar now. Yes, it is. I'm right. Good. Yeah. So there won't be one coming up. But what I might do is I might record a video Christmas and New Year message for all you matters. I might see if I can get it on the podcast system somehow. If not, it'll be on my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and my Instagram page. So if you've not followed me already, search for Ted Hanky on Facebook. It's Hanky spelled Hanky, not like the Darts player who's EY. And I'm at Ted Hanky Comedy on Twitter and Ted Hanky Comedy on Instagram. So look it up, you know what I mean? I've put some good stuff out on there sometimes. I've got a YouTube channel as well, so just search for that, and you've got all my videos and some of my comedy gigs on there as well. Some are shite like, but some are really good. Some are really good. I'm proud of them. But yeah, thanks for all your content. Thanks for sharing it about. Big thank you to our sponsors of the show, Joke Pit Comedy, jokepit.com, I should say, connecting comedy. It's the comedy box office, Boro Fan TV, and Showcase Comedy. Now, listen, next Thursday, the 19th of December, I mentioned it last week, there's a gig on in Stockton at the Georgian Theatre, and it's got some great sort of Whose Line Is It Anyway style improv comedy on, and it's got me mate Dean Moore on. He's doing like an opening spot, so go along, support it for Showcase Comedy. It's a cracking night. It's only a £5 a ticket if you buy it in advance. But listen, I've just had a look on my phone there, and the Borough of Drew and Notts Forest, so I made a commitment last week, Charlton and Notts Forest, if we win and we do all right, I'll stick with Woody. And, you know, we've got 4 points from 2 games, although apparently we played a bit shite tonight. But we'll keep going with him. So, all you Boro fans, if you're not a Boro fan, just pretend you are for the purpose of the podcast. But I do respect the teams that you support. So, no hard feelings and that, as long as you support my comedy. Big thank you to my guest tonight, Bex Turner there, alternative comedian from Brighton. We never met before. We had a little bit of banter and a bit of a chat, you know what I mean? And it's always awkward over the interweb, but I think we did all right. Still some good impressions. I think my accents are probably far superior, if I must say so myself. But you know, let you be the judge of that. Know what I mean? So, as per usual matters, up the Boro and believe.